Hey, this is JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's April 25th, 2025. Looking out at some convective weather from yesterday over in the Boulder Mountains. You can see those towering cumulus clouds showing that there's some instability out there. In other words, thunderstorm potential. And if you're still enjoying this broadcast, we ask you to do a one-time donation or sign up for a monthly sustaining membership to keep this thing going. Weekend outlook, we have mostly cloudy skies this morning and then some afternoon thunderstorm potential. The snow line is going to be fairly high, around 9,000 feet. And we're just going to be in the pretty warm the next couple days in the lower to mid 60s. Mountains are going to be really warm, not too much overnight freeze. We have all this southerly flow bringing in warm, wet, moist air into the valley. And then Sunday, a closed low system is going to give us some wraparound moisture. So it's going to hit most of the eastern mountains, the Boulders, Pioneers, and the Lost Rivers with a cold front coming through. All right, looking at the backcountry, we picked up, I saw an inch of snow yesterday out East Fork of Baker. Looked like the snow line was around 7,000 feet. It was kind of raining off and on in the valley floor yesterday. Galena Lodge picked up 2 inches of snow, and that was already baking into the crust that's out there to at least 8,500 feet where I was yesterday. And then there were spotty snow showers throughout the day in the Pioneers and Boulders. So depending where you go, you could really get, I don't know, a few inches of snow. I don't think there's more than 4 out there, but it did look like there was probably laying down some good amount of snow in places. Looking ahead, we're going to have superficial overnight freezes, so that means probably going to be starting to look out for wet problems. There's not going to be that overnight freeze locking up the snowpack. So just kind of creates not really kind of hard to manage issue if you're going to go out into the big steep mountains. Lost River update. Hiltz Creek, which is the only snow-till site over in the Lost Rivers, reported 7 inches of snow yesterday with those rainstorms that came through Wood River Valley and dumped down about 8.8 inches of SWE. And that was at 8,000 feet. So if you're going to use orographic lift and go up to the 12,000 foot peaks, could be looking at a foot, maybe a foot and a half more. And then another 6 to 8 inches are coming in on Sunday into Monday. The winds are going to crank with that on Sunday. They're going to start out with gusts up to 25 miles per hour and then get up into 40 miles per hour Sunday night. So it's going to get pretty sporty out there. Looking around at morning temperatures, we are in the 30s in the Wood River Valley and the mid-20s over in Stanley. Mountaintops last night just getting below freezing. And this is looking at Hiltz Creek from yesterday, 7 inches. And then you could see a decrease through the day. So it probably rains looking at the temperatures at 8,000 feet. But I bet it was snowing at the higher elevations. All right, looking around at the satellite view this morning, this is that area of low pressure that's spinning up south moisture into our area throughout the day. These are going to be those bands that turn into possible thunder showers today. And this low is going to kind of start going like this over the next couple of days, go through the Great Basins, the Great Basin, and Saturday's looking fairly dry, but then Sunday is when that moisture comes through. And let's take a look at that. So let's look at the HRRR forecast first, which is not showing as much. You can see a couple showers starting to come in around 2 p.m. in the Wood River Valley. And then fast forward that, they do pick up a little intensity as they head north. And there is this nice band of convective thunder showers that is from west to east. It kind of looks like it misses the Wood River Valley. It does look like it's hitting the Lost Rivers over here. And then not too much showery activity for Saturday, although it is moist out there. You see in the afternoon hours with that daytime heating, there is this active bands of thunder showers, but that's to the north of us. And looking at the NAM, paints a little bit different picture. So it's going to be showing more moisture, the first band coming through, but then you can see this convective bands of thunder showers making its way up to us up north. This plays out. Here we go. So that'd be right around 6 to 8 p.m. time frame. You can see this nice little cell here that could make its way right up through the Wood River Valley and give us some lightning and thunder potential. So we'll see if that happens. And then the NAM's also not really showing much, maybe a couple of showers for the afternoon. This is just showing that a thunderstorm potential. It's at 30 to 40% for the southern portion of the Wood River Valley. Now looking at snow amounts, so it's going to be fairly high for today. You can see it's going to be isolated to mostly the mountains above 9,000 feet, so that's going to make up most of the Pioneers and Boulder Mountains. And then jumping forward to Sunday, again hitting most of the eastern mountains with 2 to 4 inches of snow in places of elevation. The Lost Rivers are getting a nice coating of snow, and then really ramping up into Sunday night as those temperatures cool through, and we get that cooler air coming in behind the cold front. So that's going to be when we get most of our snow, is Sunday night. This is just looking at it. The MBM models kind of paint the picture. You can pick out all the mountain ranges here just because it's so elevation dependent. So we got the Pioneers, Boulders, White Cloud Zone picking up upwards of 6 inches. And then the next range over here, the Lost Rivers, picking up 6 to 7 inches. And then the Lemhis are going to do really well too. I've never skied over there, but they're going to be doing pretty well. More of a continental snowpack, even more so than Bora or the Lost Rivers. All right, looking at the 500 millibar charts, if you're still hanging on with me, that low is going to move its way down the SoCal and then up through Nevada into the Great Basin on Sunday and eventually move to the east of us. So like right in this time frame, it's going to be spinning up that wraparound moisture coming off that low, which is spinning counterclockwise. So feeding that moisture into the eastern mountains and hitting those a little bit more prominently. Yeah, it looks like we're going to pick up 0.3 of an inch in the Wood River Valley. That'll fall mostly as rain. I'm going to skip that. Titus looks like could pick up 0.5 of an inch with a couple of inches of snow, so not really too much. This is new to me. I didn't know there was a MBM model for Donaldson Peak, and it also has Bora Peak. I'm looking at Donaldson because it's a little bit more moisture out of the storm. Upwards of an inch of water falling Sunday. Well, close to it, or you're picking up a little bit before that. So 0.8 inches, another good hit of snow falling in the Lost Rivers with lots of gusty winds. So probably going to be some avalanche activity. I shouldn't say probably. There will be some avalanche activity out there because I imagine there's some facets growing out there. I saw them growing in the boulders, and Ben's reported some too in his journey out there in the mountains. So I can only imagine some stuff is going to go off over in the Lost Rivers along with the snow.